Infections were reported in Edo, Ondo, Bauchi and Ebonyi states. No new healthcare worker infections were reported during the week. The report stated that the outbreak has spread across 23 states and 109 local government areas since January 2026, with suspected and confirmed cases increased compared to the corresponding period last year. According to the agency, 5 states account for 84% of all confirmed cases. Ondo leads with 28%, followed by Bauchi with 25%, Taraba with 15%, Edo with 10%, and Benue with 6%. The remaining 16% of cases are spread across 18 other states with confirmed infections, it added. According to the NCDC, the predominant age group is 21 to 30 years, as young adults remain the most affected demographic, with cases ranging from 1 to 93 years and a median age of 30 years. The agency says that to coordinate the response, the National Lassa Fever Multi-Partner, Multi-Sectoral Incident Management System remains activated. He noted that surveillance and case management efforts are ongoing across the 23 affected states. Now, the leader of the Senate, Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele, has congratulated the governorship candidate of All Progressives Congress APC and Ekiti State Governor, Mr. Abiodun Oyebanji, on his re-election. Okpeyemi described it as a clear endorsement of his leadership and governance records. Bamidele, who chaired the APC Governorship Election Campaign Council in Ekiti State, said Oyebanji's renewed mandate would guarantee continuity in the delivery of impactful governance and accelerate the pace of development across the state. He congratulated Oyebanji and the APC in a statement issued by his Directorate of Media and Public Affairs, saying the victory is a signpost for a better, brighter and greater Ekiti. The returning officer and Vice-Chancellor, Federal University of Technology, Akure Futa, Professor Adenike Oladije, had announced the final result at the Collation Center in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital, this morning. According to the returning officer, Oyebanji polled 319,224 to defeat the candidate of People's Democratic Party, Dr. Wole Oluyede, who came second with total votes of 40,543. And his African Democratic Congress counterpart, Mr. Dari Bajide, scored 12,872 votes. He expressed optimism that the governor's second term would consolidate ongoing reforms, deepen development initiatives, and further position Ekiti State as a model of good governance and political stability in the country. Now, more reactions trailed the just concluded Ekiti State election as the candidate of the Social Democratic Party, the SDP, in the Ekiti State governorship election of 2026, Peter Obafemi, alleged irregularities in the Saturday's exercise. Accessing the election, the SDP flag bearer said it was full of intimidation, alleging that the culprit is a member of one of those major parties being protected by the police, adding that the money amounted to millions of naira. Mr. Bafemi, who scored 179 votes in the poll, called on INEC to intervene on vote buying, particularly in the coming January 2027 election, to abort the act of vote buying. According to him, some of his campaign banners were pulled down in the lead-up to the 2026 governorship election. Meanwhile, INEC had declared Governor Abiodun Oyebanji of the All Progressives Congress APC the winner of the election, while he held in 16 local government areas of the southwest state. He scored 319,224 votes to beat his opponent in the second position of the People's Democratic Party. Away from election matters now, the Nigerian Communication Commission (NCC) and the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC) have informed the public, investors and all stakeholders in the communication sector and compliance requirement regarding changes in the ownership structure of licensed communication companies in Nigeria. The commissions, in a joint statement, said the requirement is pursuant to the provision of Section 90 of the Nigerian Communication Act 2003, the NCA 2003 Regulation 28 subsection 2 of the Competition Practice Regulations 2007 and Regulation 42 of the Licensing Regulations 2019, which collectively empower the NCC to oversee and review transactions affecting licenses and promote the fair competition. They stated that effective immediately, any proposed transfer of ownership or control of shares in the licensee of the Nigerian Communications Commission amounting to 10% or more of the total share capital, as well as any series of share transfers which in aggregate exceed 10% of the total share capital of the licensee, shall require a letter of no objection from NCC in order for the changes to be effected and registered with the CAC. By this measure, the CAC will ensure that all requests for change in shareholding structure amounting to 10% or more submitted for registration by telecommunication companies are duly submitted and supported by evidence of NCC's prior consent and approval. The requirement is designed to preserve a fair and competitive market structure within the communications sector by preventing direct or indirect anti-competitive practices while strengthening regulatory oversight of significant changes in ownership and control. It further promotes transparency, investor confidence and regulatory certainty and safeguard the long-term sustainability and stability of the industry. The NCC and the CAC reaffirmed their shared commitment to advancing a transparent, stable and competitive business environment in Nigeria. Now on business, the Nigeria Customs Service (NCS) and BAT Nigeria, the BATN, have signed a memorandum of understanding aimed at deepening collaboration in the fight against smuggling, enhancing regulatory compliance and protecting legislative investments. Illicit trade remains a major challenge globally, undermining government revenues, distorting markets, weakening regulatory framework, and creating unfair competition for compliant businesses. In Nigeria, the fight against smuggling has become increasingly important as the government seeks to strengthen domestic revenue generation, improve border security, and promote sustainable economic growth. The agreement, signed at the headquarters of the NCS in Maitama, Abuja, marks a major milestone in the long-standing relationship between both organizations and underscores a shared commitment to safeguarding lawful trade while tackling the growing threat posed by illicit tobacco product. Speaking at the signing ceremony, the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, described the agreement as a strategic framework that will strengthen cooperation between the service and BATN in addressing illegal cross-border trade and ensuring greater compliance across the tobacco value chain. The Memorandum of Understanding is expected to facilitate greater information sharing, intelligence collaboration, capacity building, and coordinated enforcement effort aimed at identifying and disrupting illicit trade networks operating within and across Nigeria's borders. Managing Director, BAT Nigeria, Yorub Al-Baharani, described the agreement as a landmark development that reflects the strength of the relationship between BATN and NCS and reinforces a shared commitment to responsible business practices. But that's the much we can take on Aso Briefing today. Many thanks for your time. I am Joy Annie. Do have a great day ahead.